Welcome to the 4-Leaf for Life Reiki podcast. Reiki energy and spiritual tools to anchor you into your most powerful healing potential. Inner peace and well-being is possible for everyone, especially you, friend. I'm Dawn Williams, an Usui Shiki Ryoho Reiki Master Teacher, Jikiden Reiki Shoden and Okuden practitioner, and certified energy healer 4 Pathways professional from Cindy Dale, internationally acclaimed author and intuitive healer. This channel values the traditional aspects of Reiki while simultaneously moving beyond the protocols themselves for deep inner expansion and modern day vision and perspective. Let's do this. Welcome. Hi there, it's Dawn. I have been practicing distance Reiki sessions for probably 5 to 7 years, 5 more professionally, so to speak. And I have tried a lot of different types of sessions. So I wanted to bring 3 of them for you to create ease and comfort and excitement in sharing your offerings with other people. So the very first one that I wanted to talk about is probably the easiest, the simplest, and it involves you sharing your gifts, your long distance Reiki session with a client, and you would not have any contact with them at all while you were doing the session. So this is a very traditional type of session. But what I have found is when you're offering this in more of a client relationship as opposed to friends, family, etc., that there is often a feeling of what just happened if the client doesn't receive any type of feedback or some type of structure to really anchor in that belief and that feeling of embracing the energy and allowing it to really fully land. My teacher told us a story about a client that she had who came to her saying that she had tried everything and that all of the sessions hadn't worked, and she was dubious as to whether or not my teacher would work. And when my mentor looked at the energy body of the client, she could see that there were many different healing streams of energy that were right there, like they were right there, and they were ready to land. And she suggested to her client that was she ready to allow love in? Was she ready to heal? And that had the effect of opening her client's heart and really allowing all of these amazing energetic streams and sessions that she had had to fully actually land and integrate into her system. And so I think that's a great analogy for why we are creating these 3 different structures so that the client feels fully confident and open and has something to really hold on to and to allow them to open their heart. So having said that, the very first structure of your session is going to be a fully remote distance session in which you do not meet over Zoom. But what I would suggest to help to land or integrate that session is to create some type of report or document or even just a few paragraphs in an email, which are very sensitively, and that's the key here, because when you're interacting with clients, with other people, with these healing intentions, part of it is that we have a great responsibility to communicate what is for their highest and greatest good in ways that are loving, compassionate, and sensitive. And so this might mean that you send them a little paragraph. And if you have any helpers that you have in your sessions, it could be, I use this music track for them to listen to. I used a turquoise crystal because it was helping me in your throat area of your energy body, and this is what happened. Or perhaps it's as simple as, I noticed when I was at your heart that there was a feeling of constriction. And so we worked to ensure that the energy flowed in a greater capacity. Or it could be when I was at your hips, your thigh, your knee, I noticed biosin, which are the sensations of um, of the the energy that is stuck, right? And so that might occur as heat, as tingles, as cold, as waviness. So giving them just a little bit of information, but nothing that is outside of the scope of a Reiki practitioner. So not diagnosing, not trying to create any health, but really offering something that is helpful and loving and kind. And so it could be that you use the chakras as a template. You go through each chakra, even though that's, not the structure theoretically for Reiki, which uses the 3 10 but it's really helpful in this capacity, especially when you're doing a distance session, to use them as a portal for creating those intuitive messages, which really help the energy to land and integrate within the client. So you could use a protocol like Heso Ryoho, which is the navel protocol, or the Tenden Ryoho, which is the one which is based on the forehead and the sacral area, or the belly, which is for toxins. You may be familiar with that. And so it could also be a mental emotional treatment and just a few little things. So it doesn't have to be something that's really big, just a little paragraph to give them a little idea of what has shifted, what has moved, what did you notice, and to create some very compassionate, loving response. And so that is your first structure. So to recap, the first structure is very simple. It is a Reiki remote healing in which you do not connect with the client. You do the work remotely, and then you would follow up with some type of small offering. It could be just a paragraph as to what happened. It could be a report that focuses on the chakras and what you notice at each energy portal. It could be based on a protocol, some of the protocols that you have and know, and just the awareness of what was happening with the client. And it really, it could also be your own type of symbolic or intuitive messages. But again, always ensuring that all messages, all communications are shared in a loving, compassionate way. So there we go. There's number 1. Next up is your second structure or framework. Stay tuned.